Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a get ready with me, trying out a bunch of truly affordable drugstore makeup. Everything I'm testing out today is $5 or under. I feel like the word affordable gets thrown around a lot here on YouTube, but really, a lot of drugstore makeup has gotten really expensive. I mean, $15 is like a normal price to see on a drugstore item these days. And that is more affordable than, a Sephora product or, a high-end product, but it's still not really affordable to most people. So I wanted to see what I could find at Ulta that was under that $5 price point. Some of the things are things that I already have in my collection, but I'm also going to be trying out quite a few new things. I actually have quite a few things from Essence that I'm really excited to try. I haven't tried Essence in years, as well as LA Girl. These are two brands that I was kind of reluctant to try for a long time because I felt like their cruelty-free status was kind of unclear to me, but I recently made the decision to kind of broaden my horizons when it comes to cruelty-free. I used to pretty much exclusively use Logical Harmony and Leaping Bunny, but I recently decided to also start looking at Cruelty-Free Kitty because she seems really trustworthy, and these are two brands that are both certified by PETA and Cruelty-Free Kitty, so I feel like having those two certifications is enough for me to feel confident in the brands. Usually, just a PETA certification is not quite enough for me to fully trust it, but I feel like having both is good enough for me. And I also just really want to be able to recommend as many affordable and accessible options as I can on my channel, so I know for a lot of people, Essence is one of the only affordable brands you can find, especially in Europe, I know, so that is why I have decided to start using those brands, and I'm so excited because Essence is one of those brands that I would say a majority of their products are under that $5 price point, which is just getting harder and harder to find. So I'm really excited. Let's go ahead and get started. So one of the few things I don't have that's under $5 is a foundation, so I'm just going to go in with my Project Pan foundation. This is the NYX Born to Glow. I don't know of any foundations that are under $5. Let me know if you do know of any. I was not able to find any at Ulta today. So one product I'm going to try out today for the first time is the LA Girl Pro Conceal. This has been around for a long time. I know a lot of people really like this concealer. This retails for $4.99, but it's actually currently on sale at Ulta for $2.99. I ended up getting the shade Buff. So this is what this looks like. It has a brush tip, but it is a squeeze tube. I hope this is the right shade. They had a lot of shades that looked like they could potentially work for me. And with under eye concealers especially, I don't like to go too light. And obviously I don't want to go too dark, but I feel like too light concealers can just look really disastrous on me. So this looks like a pretty good shade match though. So I'm just going to blend that out with my sponge like I pretty much always do. This is the Base Blue Cosmetics Snowflake Sponge. This is what I've been using. It's actually a really nice sponge. Okay, so that has pretty good coverage so far. I wasn't sure how much to apply. I am a bit of a coverage snob when it comes to under eye concealers because I do have pretty significant dark circles and I like to cover them. I'm just going to build up a little bit more kind of in this darkest area. Coverage-wise, it looks really good, and it also doesn't look super heavy or thick on my under eyes. I feel like it blended out really quickly, so happy with that. Okay, I don't currently have any powders that are technically under $5 in my collection. I do have the e.l.f. Beautifully Bare Sheer Tint Finishing Powder that typically retails for $6. It's actually currently on sale on Ulta's site for $4.80, so I am going to use that on my face, but on my under eyes I'm going to use the e.l.f. Halo Glow, which is a really nice loose setting powder. The Sheer Tint pressed powder is just a little bit too dark for my under eyes. I feel like that concealer has already faded. Am I wrong about that? Okay, I do feel like that concealer has already faded a little bit, so it might be one that you need to set immediately. So I'm gonna go ahead and build up a tiny bit more of that. And then I'm just gonna set my face with the e.l.f. Sheer Tint Finishing Powder. But I can tell you, if you are looking for a setting powder that is under $5, is actually $3. The e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder is a really good option. I had that one and used it up in the past. I didn't want to rebuy it today just to use it for this video because I don't know. It's tricky being a YouTuber and trying to strike that balance between not accumulating a ridiculously huge collection and also recommending products, so I was trying to stick to my low buy intentions as best I could for this video. So that's why I didn't rebuy that powder just for the sake of this video, but I can go ahead and recommend that to you if you are looking for a good, really affordable powder. Next, I have some cheek products from Essence. I have their The Blush in the shade Befitting. I know I've heard a lot of good things about their blushes. I have heard that the packaging breaks easily, so that's one of the downsides of more affordable makeup, but you know, if it breaks and you don't care what it looks like, you could always tape the lid back on. And this looks like just the most perfect kind of nude taupey rose color. I've been looking for a blush that's this kind of tone, and this retails for $3.99 at Ulta. Let's see how this goes on. So I'm using a pretty light hand because I wasn't sure how pigmented it would be, but it seems like a good buildable level of pigmentation. You know, some blushes, especially if you have fair skin like mine, they can be almost like too pigmented right off the bat to where you almost feel like you can't control how much you're getting, but this is a very easy blush to just kind of build up to your desired intensity. And this looks matte to me. I don't see any shimmer to this shade. Let me see, is it satin? Or actually, it might be a very soft satin, but I mean, it's pretty much matte. Man, that is a really pretty, just kind of everyday blush color. I really like that. I'm curious to see how it is, like, staying power-wise. I don't usually have trouble with my blushes fading. I feel like I'm pretty lucky in that sense. I know a lot of people do struggle with that, but it's very rare that I encounter a blush that fades on me, but obviously this is the first time I'm using most of these products, so I will come back and share updated thoughts on them once I've had a chance to try them. Yeah, really liking the way my face looks so far. So now I'm really excited to try out this super popular highlighter from Essence. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. It looks like it came in two shades, at least that I saw at Ulta. I got the shade Be My Highlight, which is the lightest shade, and then there was also a Be My Sunlight, I think, which was a little bit deeper. Why does it look like someone has already touched this, even though it was sealed? Oh well, what are you gonna do? I'm so excited to try this. I really hope the shade isn't too deep. All right, I'm just gonna use my favorite highlighter brush. This is the e.l.f. Precision Feather Light Highlighter Brush. I know Taylor Wynn loves this highlighter. Apparently it's like supposed to be kind of a subtle highlighter, which is really what I've been into lately. Ooh. Okay, that is pretty. Is that too dark? I can't quite tell. What do you guys think? Does that look? I feel like it does really slightly give me that sort of shadowy look on my cheekbones. When a highlighter is too dark, sometimes it looks that way. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does that look like it's too dark, or does it work? Let me know. But the finish of that is really lovely. Like, it just looks very smooth. It's not like a super blinding highlighter, but you can still see it. Like, it's, you know, it still shows up. So that's pretty. I will definitely have to keep testing that and report back. I don't have a bronzer today. I was eyeing the Essence bronzers, but I didn't end up picking one up just because I feel like I have a lot of bronzers in my collection right now that I should probably just stick to those, but it did look really nice. Maybe I should have gotten it. But anyway, I feel like bronzer is kind of an optional step for me anyway, so we're going to skip that today. I am just priming my lids with the CoverGirl Lid Lockup Primer. This is not under $5, I don't think. But if you are looking for a really good under $5 eyelid primer, e.l.f. does make one. I think it's $3. I had that one a long time ago and remember it being pretty good. Okay, one of my favorite, like, super inexpensive products from e.l.f. is their Shape and Stay Brow Wax. This is literally just a retractable, like, wax crayon, and I really like to apply this to my brows before I fill them in with a brow pomade. It just kind of helps to push the hairs into place, kind of gets them into the shape that I want them, and it just gives them a little bit of hold throughout the day. So next up for brows, I ended up picking out this e.l.f. Lock-On Liner and Brow Cream. So it's kind of like a brow pomade. There are also a lot of really affordable brow pencils. e.l.f. and Essence both make some, but if you want to get the most bang for your buck, I definitely recommend a brow pomade like this. With most brow pencils, you fly through them pretty quickly, but this kind of thing, assuming it doesn't dry out quickly, that's my only concern. I'll have to keep you guys posted on that, but you just get a lot more product in here. It lasts a lot longer. So I'm really excited to see how this is. You guys know I really like the ABH Dip Brow Pomade, so I'm curious to see how this compares. Also, the lightest shade they seem to have is light brown, which looks like kind of like a cool toned taupey brown. I'm hoping it's not too dark. Normally I would get either like taupe or blonde, but this doesn't seem too dark, at least not in the jar, so let's see. And this can actually double as a liner as well, cream eyeliner, so that's cool. Another kind of dual purpose product. There's also the new e.l.f. like eyebrow quads. I think they're called the bite-sized brows. That comes with like a brow wax, a pomade, maybe 2 different shades of pomade and a powder, which that also looks like a good bang for your buck. I wanted to get that, but they didn't have that at my Ulta, so I ended up going with this product instead. Okay, so that went in pretty smoothly. The shade, I think the shade works. Yeah, it doesn't look too terribly dark. Maybe a little bit darker than I would typically go, but my main thing is that I don't want brow products to pull too red, and this doesn't seem to be pulling too red. It's a little bit warmer than what I typically do, but it's not too bad. Definitely very pigmented, like you don't need a lot, especially with this type of brow product. It's very creamy, so you definitely only need to just like barely tap your brush in there and build slowly. Otherwise you may end up getting way too much, which is the same thing that I've experienced with like the ABH pomade that I've used. So it seems to be a common theme with brow pomades. And if you do prefer a brow pencil, e.l.f. does make, I think, a $3 brow pencil, the Instant Lift brow pencil. And I've had that in the past. It is really good. So if you prefer that, they do offer that as well. Yeah, I feel like, at least from far away, my brows look good. I'm not in love with the way they look close up. I do feel like the shade is just a teeny tiny bit too dark for me. Or at least just darker than I'm used to seeing. I think it works, but I don't know. It's just a little bit off. And that's usually the thing with brow products is you might be able to find a formula that you like, but being able to find the right shade can sometimes be the real kicker. Okay, so now what I'm really excited for is this palette from Essence. I've heard nothing but good things about these Essence 6-pan palettes. I ended up picking up the shade Coral Me Maybe. I've been wanting this ever since I've seen several YouTubers show it. It just looks like the most adorable little coral palette. It's not overly coral, like it's still fairly like everyday neutral shades, but with a little bit of like a soft peach twist. So there's 3 shimmers in here and 3 mattes. These palettes retail for $3.99. 6 shades, that even beats the e.l.f. bite-sized quads. Which the e.l.f. bite-sized quads I liked for a long time, but I felt like the shelf life, at least on Rosewater, was really short. Like it kind of just started to not perform as well after like a year, which usually eyeshadows don't really expire for me, so that was kind of weird. But hoping to have a better experience with this. So I'm gonna start out with this lightest matte shade. Do these have shade names? Oh, they do. This is the shade Just Met You. Looks like just a nice light sandy beige transition color. Oh, it has a mirror. I can use the mirror. Okay, well that blended well, and it's showing up, so it's about all I can ask of a $4 eyeshadow. It's about all I ask of any eyeshadow. So next I'm gonna dip into this more kind of peachy matte. This is the shade In My Way. A little bit deeper and a little bit peachier, and I'm just gonna target that more into the crease. I think this brush might have had a darker shade on it already. Oopsie, I thought I wiped it off, but I guess not. That's okay. I need to wash my brushes. It needs to happen, like really soon. So I would love to know in the comments, what would you consider to be an affordable price for makeup? Because it can be, it can be different for everybody. For some people, $20 might be affordable for a single product. For some people, $5. For some people, $1. Yeah, I just feel like truly affordable products are getting harder and harder to find, of course. With inflation, obviously, prices do go up over time, as we know, but it is definitely still possible to find those products. You just have to dig a little bit. And they might not get talked about on YouTube as much, but I do still think it's possible. So for the lid, I think I'm gonna go in with this middle shade up here called Wish in the Well. Okay. I'm gonna start by applying that with a shader brush. This is just the e.l.f. eyeshadow brush, $2 brush here. I just want to see how that applies with the brush first. Oh, that's pretty. Well, it's applying well. I love these kinds of tones on my eyes. I think peachy tones like this look so good on blue eyes. I mean, really any eye color, but peach definitely makes blue pop. I am pumped about this. And it's just so easy to pull together a look with these kinds of tones. I know I'm very late to the party on this. I know a lot of you guys are like, yeah, we've been talking about this palette for months now, girl. Get with the program. I'm usually not the first person to be on top of the new releases, so that's probably not why you guys follow me anyway. Well, that is just lovely. I could just stop there, but am I going to? No. Because I want to try more shades. So I do want to apply a little bit more of that with my finger just to see like how much punchier I can get it, but really the brush did a great job. This is just putting me in a good mood. I feel like last week I was in kind of a blah mood, I think because it was just raining a lot, but today the sun is out. I'm playing with makeup, my favorite thing, and there's just something about affordable makeup that really makes me excited. So next I'm going to go in with this shade down here called Pennies and Dimes with my shader brush again. And I'm just going to kind of tap that onto the outer part of my lid. This is like a little bit more of, how would I describe this color? It's more like a taupey peach. Oh wow, actually, just swatched it on my hand there. I have some stains from swatching things at Ulta, but it comes off a little bit warmer, more of like a fiery coral on my skin than it looks in the pan. Because in the pan it doesn't really look all that coral, but that is pretty. That would make a really pretty like one and done lid shade, I think. Okay, I'm very happy with this. And this, they have a lot of different shades of this 6-pan palette, but this is the one that really called out to me the most. But I'd be curious to try more. All right, so I'm gonna go in with this deep brown here. It's nice that they have a deep color in here, just gives the palette some range. I'm just gonna kind of smudge that in my outer corner, really close to my upper lash line. Okay, so this is definitely not the most pigmented brown I've ever come across, but it's showing up. Once again, I feel like sometimes things can be almost too pigmented, but that's working. Actually, I really like how that looks. Okay. And I'm not getting a ton of like powdery kickback with these either, yet at the same time, they're pigmented. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of that shade on the lower lash line as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and use all 6 of the shades. I've already used 5 out of 6, but finally, I am going to dip into this lightest shimmer shade called This Is Crazy and tap that into my inner corner. It's kind of like a golden peachy champagne. Ooh, that's pretty. Wow, okay, so far all 6 of these shades are performing really well. I'm going to pull that in a little bit into the lid. Taking a brush and just kind of pulling that in a little bit, just to tie it together. That is so pretty. I'm sorry, I feel like I've said that like 50 times already in this video. That's a hit so far. Oh, I forgot I have this too. Oh wow, okay, this is from LA Girl. This just caught my eye. This is the LA Girl Dream Glitter Iridescent Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Rose Gold. I actually think this will go really pretty with this eye look. I kind of don't want to add anything else to this, but I'm going to because I bought this for this video. I'm just going to tap a little bit of this onto my lid. Let's see how this blends. I'm just going to kind of tap it out with my finger. I think this will just be a nice, like, kind of glittery topper. Cute. Definitely glittery. Definitely glittery. This is a huge tube here, though. Would you call that a tube? I'm not sure. It feels like a more substantial size than like a Stila liquid eyeshadow. That is pretty. I do feel like I kind of messed up the blending. That's probably my own fault. It's kind of hard to control it with a finger sometimes. I'm just going to go back with my fluffy crease brush and try to blend that out. Very curious about this. It does seem to have good reviews on Ulta's site. I feel like I got a little bit more glitter over here. So let's try to even that out a bit. Really curious to see. I hope those glitter pieces don't like fall down onto my face throughout the day, but that looks really pretty. It goes really well with that coral eyeshadow palette. Yeah, I really like this eye look. Okay, so then I also have a couple of eyeliners to test out. One is from Essence, one is from LA Girl. Now, one of these actually might not go very well with this look. This is the LA Girl Perfect Precision Eyeliner in the shade Cobalt. It's a beautiful royal blue. I can't seem to stop collecting eyeliners. So, but I didn't have an eyeliner that was quite this like rich of a jewel toned royal blue. I could maybe pop that into my lower waterline. I don't want to disrupt this like really pretty, just warm, neutral look. So I think I'm going to test this on another day. I also have the Essence 24 Ever Ink Liner in Intense Black. The liquid liner I have right now, I've had open for like over a year, so I'm thinking it's probably about time to retire that one pretty soon. So this is a nice felt tip liner. Again, it seemed to have good reviews. It's a very small, like precision tip. So let's do like a soft wing with this. It's been a long time since I've tried a new liquid liner. All right, I guess I'm taking it all the way in. I didn't mean to, but it just kind of happened because I have no self-control. I feel like there's always a bit of a learning curve anytime you're using a new liquid liner. Even if you've used felt tip liners in the past, it just feels different. Something about it feels different in your hand. The length of the tip, the flexibility of the tip, it's all so new. I kind of liked it better without the black liquid liner, but yeah, I liked it better with the soft brown, I think. But it's going on really black, really opaque. So that's good to see. And it went on really smoothly too, like I didn't get any skipping. It feels nice and juicy, but it's not so juicy that it's getting everywhere and getting messy. So far so good. We'll see how well that wears. Do you feel like the lid doesn't go on very well? Like it doesn't really snap on. I feel like if you had this in your makeup bag, it would pop off really easily. That's a little concerning, but okay. So another like iconic Essence product is, of course, their Lash Princess Mascara. I was standing there for so long. The Ulta workers were probably wondering what my problem was because I was standing in front of the Essence display for I don't even know how long. It felt like 30 minutes because I just couldn't make decisions. I really like to spend a lot of time perusing my options. So anyway, there were a lot of mascaras on display. I decided to go with the one that I think I've heard the most people talk about. It seems like people who've tried multiple Essence mascaras recommend the green one the most, so this is the one I went with. It's their Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. It has a pretty normal brush. It's got kind of like natural style bristles. Very, very basic brush, which I don't mind. So let's just see how it does. I know I've heard some people say that this mascara smudges a lot or transfers and or flakes. I can't remember, but lately I have been having that problem with a lot of mascaras, so I'll be curious to see how this does. They did have a waterproof version. I don't like waterproof mascaras because they're so hard to remove that I just don't want to deal with that, but this mascara retails for $3.99, which is just about as affordable as it gets, I feel like, these days with mascaras. I think e.l.f. does still make one mascara that's $3, but I don't think it's very good. I think I had it a long time ago. I don't remember it being very impressive. Okay, so far, obviously with the very first time you use a mascara, sometimes it hasn't really reached its full potential yet because you just opened it. Sometimes it needs a couple weeks to dry out and really like reach its prime. But I like the way it looks. I would say it's very lengthening and did give my lashes kind of like a fluttery effect. So I'm going to try to build up one more coat. Do I want to try putting this on the lower lashes? I'm going to go for it. It looks really nice. Let me know if you're an Essence mascara connoisseur, if you've tried multiple ones, which one is your favorite? They have a lot. I think that's one of the products that the brand is most known for. Okay, so last but certainly not least, for the lips, I already have several products in my collection that are under $5 from e.l.f., but I don't have any lip liners that are under $5. So I ended up grabbing one of the Essence ones. I think this is the one that a lot of people have been raving about recently, the Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil. I ended up getting the shade Happy, which looks like a really pretty kind of peachy shade. I feel like I don't have a shade quite like this in my collection. So let's try this out. And it's a wooden pencil, which I always love. That's a really pretty springy nude color, I think. Something a little bit different than my usual like cool brown nude colors. So it's definitely going on smoothly. Feels like a good texture for a lip liner. Like it's not so creamy and soft that I'm worried it's gonna like feather everywhere. I like to just kind of blend that with my finger a little bit so I don't have this like harsh line. So I've had these for a while, I've recommended them many times, but the e.l.f. Seriously Satin lipsticks are amazing. I think they are either $3 or $4 depending on where you're shopping. I have the shades Nectar, Persimmon, and Cream. I love all of them. I think today I'm going to use the shade Nectar. This is such a pretty like peachy nude, and I think it'll go well with that lip liner. But that's the e.l.f. lipstick, and that's the Essence lip liner that I just applied. This looks like a good little team. I'm just going to apply kind of a small amount and like blend it out with my finger. Nice, that goes well with the peachy eye look too. So lastly, I also wanted to share the e.l.f. lip lacquer. This is kind of an underrated e.l.f. product. Everyone talks about the lip plumping glosses, which I love, but the e.l.f. lip lacquer, if you want something even more affordable, it's only $3 in most places at least. They have a lot of really pretty shades. I have the shade Fantasy. It's a really nice kind of golden champagne kind of shimmery gloss. It's not like glittery or anything, but it just gives your lips a really pretty shine. I'm just going to put this kind of on the center of my lips. Now, I will say this is not quite as like thick and glossy as their plumping gloss. It's a little bit of a thinner formula, which may or may not be a good thing to you, but yeah, that is a really pretty color. Okay. So I think that is everything that I have to try on today. Upon first impression, I am really pleased with this entire look. The only thing I'm not so sure about is the brow pomade from e.l.f. I just feel like I'm not having my best brow day, but I will continue to test this out and see. You know, I definitely have to use it more than one time to really get my thoughts figured out, and same goes for all of these products, but I will definitely report back with my updated thoughts once I've had a chance to like thoroughly test all these things out. But I wasn't expecting there to be so many hits. I was thinking, you know, makeup under $5, there are probably going to be some misses at least, but so far I would say there were definitely more hits than misses today. So I think I'm most excited about the eye look. I mean, this is right up my alley, this look. So let me know. I'd love to hear in the comments, what are your favorite products under $5? I'm just really excited about scavenging for more affordable makeup, because who doesn't love saving money, right? So I had so much fun filming this video. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you've not already. Also, feel free to check out the Patreon. I have bonus content going up there every month. But otherwise, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you very soon in my next video. Bye.